Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Stanisci of Candid Frank Live, where you'll find us airing our views here on the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. A good one. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now joining me on Candid Frank Live, of course, is Aaron William Freeland. Aaron, we got a couple of stories under the wire. I can't wait to talk about them, and they have to do with people who love using their fingers. So stay tuned, folks. It's coming. So let's talk about what we're talking about. And of course, we always start with the Canadian Football League. Being the big fans that we are, the game.
Indeed. The first thing I'd like to mention, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, in particular with reference to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Good news for them. After missing a couple of seasons, they finally returned to profitability, which is a good thing for them because the stadium is actually publicly owned. They've now actually managed to turn a profit on that. So that's a good thing.
Everything Riders is publicly owned. Even their opinions.
They also get publicly owned.
There they are. So the Riders and Lions injury reports.
So as they all have to do before the Thursday's games, Riders, unfortunately, it looks like their receiving core is taking a bit of a hit there. Shaq Evans is out, as well as Wesley Lewis and Justin McInnes. And Kieran Moore participated in a full practice, but he is still questionable, as well as Mitchell Picton, who did not practice and has been ruled out. On the BC Lions side, there are a few defensive backs who are healthy scratches, including Broxton Cooper, Edwards Cooper, no relation, and Miles Fox. And Nathan Rourke is, I think, the big one there. Yeah.
Oh, that one hurts.
Right in the heart, eh, Frank?
That one hurts. Let me check. Wait, I don't have a heart, so it got me right in the chest. Yeah, that one really hurts. That one really does hurt. It doesn't just hurt. It doesn't just hurt BC Lions fans. It hurts the CFL fans. I don't think I've ever seen a post shared so many times on my Facebook. How about you? Did you notice how often it was posted?
Yeah, it came up a lot. And I mean, this is a big thing. Rourke has been a really bright light in a somewhat rough season for the CFL. So having him go down like that is going to be a long-term thing, and it's not going to be fun.
It's not pretty, and we wish him all the best of health. More important, his career. He's a young man. He's on his way. These things happen. It could be the only injury he has in the next 10 years. We just don't know. But for now, the team has to do without him and figure out what to do. And I'm sure the Lions fans are not impressed. But they've got another Canadian quarterback, so they're not short on Canadian quarterbacks. They can bring a Connor out. Let's talk about the Ticats, and they inked two.
So the Ticats signed American defensive back Rodney Randall Jr. and American receiver Jalen Redd. Randall played 19 games with the Alouettes between 2021 and 2022, registering 44 defensive tackles, 11 special teams tackles, and 2 INTs. Redd was actually at the minicamp with the Seattle Seahawks and Tampa Bay Bucks this past year. Coming out of the University of Oregon, registering 131 receptions for 1,400 yards. This is a good pickup for them. It adds a little bit of scoring punch up at the front, which, as everybody knows, they can definitely use.
Absolutely. Ticats Argos injury report.
So Jagarrett Davis is out. So that's a bit of a...
That's another... If you're an Argo fan. If you're a Ticat fan, you're going, good.
Yeah, exactly. They're licking their chops at that. But I mean, on the flip side of that, Dane Evans is out as well. He's limited basically by his shoulder. He did participate in the full practice, but his game status is still to be determined. Simone Lawrence is also out. He didn't practice. And Dylan Wynn is also questionable. He's another defensive linebacker for the Tiger Cats. He's questionable for the game this weekend.
Well, the way Matthew Schultz played in the last game, it's not really it's not the same as Jagarrett Davis. And of course, that quarterback in BC, the fact that Dane Evans is out. He's had a tough year, and the fans wanted to see the other guy get a chance, he being Matthew Schultz. He'll get the chance this weekend, and we'll see what he does in a full game against the Toronto Argonauts. He did pretty well in the last time they played. The Bombers, the Stamps injury report?
So looking at what happened with the Bombers and the Stamps, Titus Wall is going to miss the game on Thursday, so that is a big hit. You never want to see that sort of thing, but unfortunately, it is what it is for the Stampeders. Richie Sindani is also out with a hammy injury, and Malik Henry is out. He's questionable with a quad injury. Kadeem Carey is another one that's questionable for the Friday for Thursday for the Stampeders. On the flip side of the coin for the Blue Bombers, Miller's out. Ellingson is questionable. Patrick Neufeld is questionable. And Reddy Cramdy, he has a head injury, so this is something that they definitely have to worry about for him. He's doubtful. He didn't practice Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday.
The Elks made a couple of moves.
Yeah, so they picked up a couple folks. They actually signed Jalen Marshall and Drew Powell to the practice roster. So that means that they could actually technically appear in games this weekend. Justin Renfro was also released. He's played 26 games in the CFL, including 8 with the Elks last season, but hadn't dressed for any so far this year.
So the Red Blacks sign a Canadian linebacker.
Yeah, so they sent Shaden Phillip. Shaden was, he played at the University of Alberta and was signed by Calgary in 2021, but was eventually released. He signed with Edmonton and appeared in 10 games with the Elks during the 2021 season before being released by the team in May of this year. So glad to see him get picked up. He could be used.
The Red Blacks signed I said that. Red Blacks Elks injury reports, what I wanted to say.
Yeah, so Justin Howell didn't practice. Amon Shadrick Hunter didn't practice. He's got a hammy injury. Zach Polejos was a healthy scratch, though he did fully participate. For those of you with your fantasy teams there, David Beard was originally listed as ill, but did practice. Jalen Marshall was limited in his reps as a wide receiver due to knee issues.
Blue Jay Bradley playing his first game on the road against the Boston Red Sox at their home. He's been to a few teams, but this is the first time he's had a chance as a visitor. This is his third team after leaving the Red Sox. He gets a chance as a Blue Jay, and he sparks a rally.
Yeah, it was nice to see. He doubled and scored to key an 8-run inning as the Blue Jays rolled over the Red Sox 9-3. Springer also contributed with 2 hits and drove in 3 in his return to the lineup as a DH. This is their 5th win in 6 outings, and they're keeping pace with the Tampa Bay Rays in the wild card standing. So that's a good thing. Excellent thing.
Fernando Tatis Jr. owes the world an apology, apparently, and he gave it a shot.
Yeah, it's one of those things. He did say, I'm truly sorry. I've let a lot of people down. I've lost so much. I've lost so much love from people. I've failed the front office, Peter Seidler, AJ Preller, the fans, failed my country, failed my parents, my family. I have seen my dreams turn into my worst nightmare in a couple of days. There's no one to blame other than myself. So he's out for the rest of the regular season, but he's also going to take the time to undergo some long-awaited shoulder surgery. So there is a silver lining to all of this. He's ready to come back, hopefully better than ever in the new season, 110% ready to go.
For those of us that are getting a little tired of the heat, let's talk about some ice, in particular the National Hockey League. And the Coyotes make new makeshift home rink named Mullet Arena?
Yeah. To borrow a phrase, it's going to be a business in the front, party in the back kind of year for the Arizona Coyotes. It's a 3,500 seat facility, man. But yeah,
the question really is, Aaron. The question is, will they fill it?
That is the hope. I mean, I'd be ashamed if
Jury's
Donald
out.
and Barbara Mullet weren't recognized for their
Jury's out.
contributions to the ASU.
The jury's out. We don't know yet. They may
Oh,
not fill it. A challenge accepted. The fans will say, "Oh yeah, it doesn't matter how small you make it. We won't fill it. Forget it." I don't know
as some
what'll
fans are
happen
joking, Sun Devils in the front, Coyotes in the back.
there. Oh, and not so funny.
Uh,
Okay, that's a serious note. Allegations of harassment, abuse, transphobia emerge within You Can Play. It's like that's counterintuitive. No.
It is, but there was a memo from April 2020 sent to You Can Play's executive board, staff, and board of advisors by former director Sarah Kogan, um, in which serious issues were alleged within the organization, including incidents of sexual harassment, gender discrimination, verbal abuse, transphobic behavior, and unethical spending and financial mismanagement by You Can Play staff, spokespeople, and board members. One case includes an incident in Australia who sent unsolicited nude photos to a local host and apparently allegedly harassed two partners of the organization. So it's
Let's get back to good news.
yeah.
It is always a wonderful thing to be a person who basically creates a milestone. A milestone happened, and that milestone was Sarah Nurse on the cover of EA Sports.
So this is absolutely massive news, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. She's going to be on the cover of the EA Sports NHL 23 X Factor edition, which is releasing on October 14th, along with Anaheim Ducks player Trevor Zegras. So it's very fantastic to see. She had just finished off winning gold with the women at the Olympics, and at this point here, getting Sarah Nurse on the cover is just absolutely wonderful to see.
Yeah, and you can check out the ESPN website. They have her talking about it and how proud she is of being a part of that, and that's awesome. Staying with women's sports, the NWSL final to be televised nationally during prime time. Aaron, another milestone, I think.
This is another huge milestone. It's going to be aired nationally by CBS. The game is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. So this is a first for their league in their 10-year history. Audi Field is the primary home for the NWSL's Washington Spirits, as well as DC United of Major League Soccer. The Spirit are currently the NWSL's defending champions. So it should be interesting to see if they actually play there as well.
Well, looking at Formula One, McLaren and Ricciardo decide to take the off ramp, not driving on the same road anymore come 2023.
No, after Ricardo was featured in the first season of Drive to Survive, he's transferred from the team that he was with at that point to Renault, and then from Renault to McLaren, hoping to boost himself and try to win the series. Unfortunately, he's just had one podium with McLaren and only 19 points so far this season. His co-driver Lando Norris has one podium this season and 76 points. So at this point here, Zach Brown, the team principal for McLaren, has acknowledged that it hasn't been working out. McLaren is going to be paying him approximately $15 million to exit his contract with them. This comes on the tail of a whole bunch of controversy concerning Oscar Piastri and a few other drivers and the shuffling of seats. This is, technically speaking, basically the start of what's known as silly season or silly seat season for F1, where drivers are looking to maximize their chances to win. So this isn't really a surprise. Piastri still has to finalize itself. Fernando Alonso just recently retired, so again, there's that to deal with. Kimi Räikkönen could potentially be making a comeback. He's currently driving in NASCAR, so we'll have to see how that goes. But a lot of fun times.
Let's talk news, and we all know that German representation met with Canadians here in Canada. They came here looking to do some business. We know what's going on in Europe is they're hungry for energy of some sort, anything to offset the loss of the Russian supplied energy streams that they have to offer Europe. And they've come up with a deal. They've got a deal in 2025. Aaron, tell us about the hydrogen shipments.
So basically, it's going to be a transatlantic hydrogen supply chain. The first deliveries are expected in the next 3 years. They actually signed it in Stephenville, Newfoundland, which is kind of neat. The 5-page agreement is basically a declaration of intent to create a hydrogen alliance between the two countries. Canada will be ramping up production, and Germany is mainly going to be focusing on a shipping corridor to transport it across the Atlantic. Now, it's important to know that while Russia is not actually named in the agreement, the pact is as much about energy as it is about sending a message to Putin that his country's era as a global energy superpower are, at risk. Germany's looking for long-term energy replacements for fossil fuels to meet its climate commitments and to allow it to end its energy dependency on Russia.
So I guess you could say that Canada and Germany are putting it to Russia.
What a guess.
I've been waiting to use that one for years. For years, hear me. PEI, healthcare solutions should go beyond medical homes and neighborhoods, say the PEI Greens.
Yeah, so this is in response to a model that's being developed by the province's PC government. They're trying a medical homes and neighborhoods model. But Peter Bevan Baker, who's the leader of the Green Party out there, says allowing everyone in healthcare delivery to maximize what they can do, including pharmacists and nurse practitioners, is also necessary. They should be able to have their own panel of patients. Nurse practitioners should also be able to work independently in walk-in clinics, and they need to be utilized in ERs, all of these places where PEI is currently struggling to deliver primary care frontline services.
Sorry.
I was going to say this is after Dennis King met with his counterparts from Ontario, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia in Moncton on Monday to discuss ways to address problems with Canada's healthcare system. Important side note here, folks, it's not Canada's healthcare system. Healthcare is taken care of by the provinces. So if there's issues there, it's not the Canadian government's fault. It's your province's government's fault. Remember that. They're the ones that need to fix it.
Go ahead. There's a charter provision that may erase Quebec's Bill 21, something not everybody in Quebec likes or loves or wants.
Yes. Basically, there's an appeal of Hack versus the AG of Quebec on the constitutionality of Bill 21, which prohibits public service workers from wearing religious symbols. Aimed primarily at those at keeping, kippas and yarmulkes and hijabs and that out of that sort of thing. It tends to overlook the fact that there's a giant 6-foot silver cross in the Quebec legislature. But the problem is there was a grade 3 teacher named Fatime Anvari who was fired for wearing her hijab. So at this point here, they're actually going to go at it with a charter challenge. It does seem to restrict the rights and freedoms. So that is definitely something that we'd want to keep an eye on at this point.
2 men in Michigan are convicted in a plot to kidnap their Michigan governor, Whitmer.
So this is fallout from the election. Tuesday, there were 2 men conspiring to kidnap. Well, this is the trial of 2 men conspiring to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. were also found guilty of conspiring to obtain a weapon of mass destruction. Specifically, they were looking to buy a bomb to blow up a bridge and stymie police if the kidnapping could be pulled off at Whitmer's vacation home. So, these guys thought it out. It wasn't a spur of the moment, we're angry. This was months in the planning. They bought body armor. They bought all of the equipment required to make the explosives. They bought the rifles. They bought the ammunition. They put plans out. It's just one of those yike moments, and I'm glad that those 2 individuals are going to be facing time for it.
Yeah, definitely not a trip to Egypt. They're not floating on the Nile. Florida. Charlie Crist, former Republican governor of Florida, is going to represent the Democrats against the governor of Florida, DeSantis.
Yeah. So basically, the Democrats have tapped Christ, who he was a one-term governor of Florida, and crossed the aisle, basically switched parties back in 2012. They feel he has the best chance against Ron DeSantis when it comes to this election. So we'll have to see how this kicks off, and keep an eye on that race for everybody here. I have hopes that Charlie can do it, but we'll have to see if the rest of Florida feels the same.
Nothing like being a party girl and the PM of Finland, I guess, Aaron.
Well, Santa Marin has actually come under fire in the past few weeks because people have leaked videos of her going out and having drinks with friends and partying.
Musicians.
Yeah, I mean, she is.
Nude photos from the PM.
I'm getting there. She's 36 years old, guys. We all remember what you did when you were 36 years old. She even submitted herself to drug tests last week to prove she hadn't taken drugs or anything that would impair her ability to continue to do her job. So unfortunately, the latest thing is a couple of influencers took pictures of themselves in her office with one of her signs topless. They've both since apologized to the Finnish people and to her for causing her undue distress. Again, if this is the worst sort of scandal that they can come up with, I think they're getting off kind of light. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You can't. I don't think they had their dresses off, so they can't claim undue distress.
But
no, just the tops were gone. Well, you know how it is. I mean, Ron McLean was seen. No, never mind.
I still can't get those pictures out of my head, dude. He was dancing on the bar topless. I love it.
Tarpless. Okay, let's stay serious, Frank. COVID, students confused and frustrated by Western University's COVID booster mask mandate.
Yeah, this is something that it's been going back and forth, and it's actually just a little bit confusing because they're like, well, you have to wear a mask unless you're sitting more than 7 feet from somebody, or if you're a professor who's leading a lecture or giving a performance. We're asking that everybody be fully vaccinated, but they failed to specify if that's 2 or 3 doses. It's kind of confusing. I mean, the university is saying that the decisions were based on extensive consultation with science experts in the Western community. The updated vaccination policy, effective immediately, they said will require 3 doses of any combination of COVID-19 vaccines, but the paperwork they put out to students doesn't reflect that. So it's one of those don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, in the don't know, don't say. Another man. I mean, I keep wondering if ever we're going to hear something about Trump that isn't skirting the law or. Now there's a memo that's come out, the DOJ. There's talk now that they have evidence, in fact, that the bar that he's not guilty of doing stuff with Russia. It wasn't a hoax. There's information that clearly says, and if somebody would have asked the question, did he possibly do something wrong? The answer would have been yes, but the question was never asked by Bill Barr, and now there's a memo to back that up. I don't know if you know about it, Aaron.
I actually just spotted it about an hour ago, but yeah, no, there's it's one of those things where, and again, it comes down to asking the right question, right? And it's
it is so like it's so slimy. It's so slimy, right? It's so slimy what's going on there and everything we hear. It's just, I don't know. At some point, people have to say enough is enough, Aaron. And I know we said enough is enough 2 years ago, and we were a little early in the equation, but I think it's getting to the point where, hello.
I mean, the memo here that I think you're talking about is one by 2 senior Justice Department officials with the Trump and Biden administrations, both fought to shield from public view, states that Trump's attempt to influence the investigation did not contribute obstruction of justice because Trump thought the investigation was politically motivated. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
They don't go after you unless they have a reason to.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron, that was great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Frank.
For William Freeland, I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching Candid Frank Live, airing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Candid Frank Live, other news, entertainment, and sports programming we offer, check out SpanglishWorld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ciao for now.